ground ball right through the right side of the infield. Here comes Richardson. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to the WHS Network here on YouTube.com. As always, I'm Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Welcome to this 2022 Wapahani Raider baseball and softball season preview show. Get back at it here. It's been about 3 weeks or so since we was last here on the broadcast during the boys basketball season. Came to a close. Had a great year and a lot of excitement they provided everybody, and we was happy to be along for another great ride throughout the basketball season. But now we're switching gears now to spring sports, looking to get after it here with the baseball and softball teams out here at Wapahani, in which we're expecting a lot of great things here from both teams, and hopefully that's going to start off the right way this coming Friday night. So we'll go ahead and take a look here at the baseball schedule for this season. We're going to start off here this coming Friday night, April the 1st. Wapahani will be welcoming the Pendleton Heights Arabians to Raider Field, 5:30 p.m. start time there for that one coming up on Friday night. Then the very next day, you want to talk about a quick turnaround. Wapahani will take on Muncie Central at a 12 p.m. start time there for the first game of the day. Then the JV team will actually play then after that, probably right around 2:30 or 3. But again, that will be the first two games of the season. Obviously then next Monday, April the 4th, will be the first road game of the season there for Wapahani, traveling to Greenfield Central for a 5:30 p.m. start time. Also, the first MEC conference matchup of the season will be next Thursday, April the 7th, when Wapahani will welcome in the Blue River Vikings there for a 5 p.m. start time. Also a big-time doubleheader on Saturday, April the 9th, taking on the Homestead Spartans. Game 1 will set to begin right around 11 a.m. there on that Saturday morning. Then, obviously, we have Shenandoah, another MEC conference matchup there on April the 12th. Then a couple days then from there, back at home again, taking on the Daleville Broncos with a 5 p.m. start time there on April the 14th. Dropping down there to a couple more, Tuesday, April the 19th, they will be at Cowan, another MEC conference matchup there with the Blackhawks, 5 p.m. start time. They're at Westdale on Thursday, April the 21st. Another 5 p.m. start time there for that. Also a big-time showdown there with Alexandria, which Alexandria's had a very good team really for the past probably 6 or 7 years. Kind of struggled a little bit last year, but still put together a respectable team. That should be a good one coming up there on April the 22nd, right out here from Raider Field there with a 5 p.m. start time there for that one. Wapahani will be traveling to Yorktown on April the 25th, taking on the Tigers. That will be obviously a highly contested matchup there with them and Yorktown coming up there on that Monday to start off the week. Then the very next night, another quick turnaround here for Wapahani, back on the road again, traveling to LaPel to take on the Bulldogs, a 5:30 p.m. start time there for that one. Followed by another MEC matchup, this time at Eastern Hancock, 5:30 p.m. start time there on April the 28th. As then Wapahani will host their annual Wapahani Invitational at 9:30 a.m. there on Saturday, April the 30th. Again here from Raider Field. Then next up here, another sectional matchup potentially there, Wednesday, May the 4th, as Wapahani will be traveling to Frankton to take on the Eagles there, a 5:30 p.m. start time there for that one. We will be welcoming Delta to Raider Field there on Thursday, May the 5th. Another back-to-back matchup there, Frankton, then Delta there on that May the 5th. Then we have the Delaware County Tournament at Yorktown High School. That will be from May 10th through the 14th. So again, we haven't quite got the bracket as far as how things will go there with that and the times. But again, that will be May 10th through the 14th. Then Tuesday, May the 17th, we're back home for Randolph Southern, another MEC matchup there to close out the season here. The last two games, or you have 3 games and 3 nights there, as Wapahani will face Knightstown there on Wednesday, May the 18th, and then finish up the 2022 campaign at home on Thursday, May the 19th, taking on Monroe Central. There with a 5 p.m. start time there for Senior Night 2022. So that's what the schedule looks like there for the boys baseball team. Now, when you look back, I mean, obviously, well, first and foremost, that Monroe Central game should be another good one. They're at least preseason rankings. Monroe Central was ranked, I believe, number 2. Wapahani was ranked number 4. Now, obviously, that's before both these teams get right out of the gate right here, so that can change rather quickly throughout the course of the season. And, by the way, all of those dates and times can also be subject to change as well, because you get to this time of the year, weather definitely plays a big factor in a lot of these games. So, again, that will have to be determined throughout the course of the season. So make sure to follow us there on our social media sites, Twitter and Facebook, at WHS Network, for any potential changes, also for any live broadcasts that we have throughout the course of the year. But when you look back there at the 2021 season there for the Wapahani Raider baseball team, it was filled with a lot of excitement, a lot of winning, just a lot of fun, and it was a great time to be a part of, and had a couple of dramatic games along the way, none more than that Sectional 40 championship game, if you remember back then. But the Raiders end up finishing up there with a season record of 29-2. Perfect 8-0 MEC conference record there in 2021, won the MEC title, and then won the Sectional 40 championship, like I said, in dramatic fashion, in which the Raiders beat the Monroe Central Golden Bears, a walk-off 3-run jack right there from Gavin Noble, one of the most memorable times that I can remember, throughout any games that we've done. That was definitely a memorable play right there, a memorable home run that sent the Raiders to regionals, which then eventually Wapahani lost in the regional championship there to Delphi. The Oracles, 7-2 was the final score there in that one. So they had a lot of success last year, 29-2, quite historic, to be quite honest with you. And, when you look at that team, obviously Wapahani graduated quite a few seniors last year. You had Gavin Noble, you had Caleb Henderson, you have Gage Gadberry, Blake Castor, Nolan Dudley, Noah Brooking, also Lane Logan. So we had a lot of guys move on, and a lot of those guys were not only main pieces of our starting lineup, but 3 of those guys were a part of our starting pitching staff, which could in some ways hamper us this year a little bit. But when you try to fill those shoes and try to fill the void, you've got to have the mindset of the Raiders are reloading. It's not a rebuilding process. It's just a reloading process like we do every year. And, you got to have guys now step in and step up and be ready to go and fulfill whatever role is asked of them throughout the course of the season. And so it's going to be interesting to see how things will kind of shape out there for Wapahani, throughout the course of the year, how things will look to begin the year, and then throughout the course of the season, how things will continue to shake out there. But, when you look at this team now coming into this season, some returning players to really look at here. You have senior Landon Thompson. Last year he was a .280 hitter, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, 12 runs scored. Plays in the outfield, usually primarily right field, does Landon Thompson. Then you have senior catcher Luke Willman. Young man, he crushed the ball last year, .370 batter, 4 home runs. Also tallied 28 RBIs, 14 doubles, 33 runs scored there for senior Luke Willman. Then we have junior Gavin Lash, young man that can do it with the bat and with the arm as well there on the pitcher's mound. He hit .467, which led the team in batting average. Also had 3 home runs, 30 RBIs, also 12 doubles, 2 triples, 37 runs scored. He was 7-0 on the mound with a 0.93 ERA. There were 25 walks, 41 strikeouts in 37 and 2/3 innings pitched, which was second on the team in that statistical category as far as innings pitched goes. But next up here we have junior Daxton Dudley, second baseman here for the Raiders. .327 hitter last season with a home run, 24 RBIs, also 6 doubles, a triple, and 35 runs scored. And then we have junior Joe Foster. Played a little bit of outfield, also pitched a little bit, mostly at the JV level, but he was our starting right fielder for a good stretch of the games. But Joe last year was a .415 batter with a 1 home run, also 15 RBIs, 5 doubles, 2 triples, 21 runs scored. Also big-time threat there on the base pass is Joe Foster. Next is sophomore Isaac Andrews, batted .333 last season. Had a double, also a triple, 2 RBIs, 16 runs scored. And then lastly here is junior Paul P-Dad Fisher. .286 hitter there was Fisher. 3 doubles, also 13 RBIs, 18 runs scored there for Paul Fisher. So those are the mainstays, that you've seen throughout the lineup last year. Other notable players that that the Raiders are looking to make a big impact this year. You have Peyton Baker, Brock Zitgraff, a freshman, Nate Lewis, a freshman, Ian McClellan, he's a junior. Carter Noble, I believe, a sophomore. Daniel Blevins, also a junior. Landon Weller, our good buddy Landon Weller, sophomore, plays some first base. Clay Eastep, a freshman. Noah Henderson, a freshman. And then you have senior Isaac Jackson. So all of those guys, including the ones that I had mentioned that are returning to the lineup and returning to the team, are looking to make a big impact this year. So we'll see where the cards fall throughout the course of the year. Like I said, we're excited to get back at it again. Obviously, you have head coach Brian Dudley back at the helm again this season, looking to have another great year with the Wapahani Raider baseball team. And we're looking forward to it. Like I said, first game of the season will be on Friday, April the 1st. We'll be welcoming the Pendleton Heights Arabians there at Raider Field at 5:30 p.m. start time there for that one. And then on Saturday afternoon at 12 p.m. start time, they're taking on the 4A Muncie Central Bearcats. So a couple 4A schools right out of the gate to open up the season. But now we're going to switch gears here. We're going to now take a look here at the Wapahani Lady Raider softball team. They had a subpar year last year, kind of up and down throughout the course of the year, but we're really looking forward to having a great 2022 campaign. And so we're going to let Redbeard right here take a little bit more of a closer look here at the schedule and how things will kind of look at here throughout the course of the season.
All right, thanks, Marv. Yeah, we'll get started. Softball's first game is this coming Monday the 4th at Northeastern with a 5 o'clock start time. Then we're home on the 6th versus Mississinawa. Then we're at Blue River on the 7th for our first MEC conference game. Then we're home for Hagerstown at 5 o'clock. Then Tuesday the 12th, we're at Shenandoah. And then the next night, the 13th, we're at Tri-High. We're home versus Tri-High. Then the next night, so we got 3 games in a row, the 12th, 13th, and 14th. Third night, we're home versus Delville. Then Monday the 18th, we're home versus Richmond. Then the 19th, we're at Cowan, the 5 o'clock start time. The 21st, we're at Westdale, so back-to-back conference games. The 22nd, we're home versus Newcastle. We have a doubleheader Saturday the 23rd against Alexandria, that first game starting at 10 a.m. On the 25th, we're at Jay County. The 26th, we're home versus Winchester. Then Thursday the 28th, we're at Eastern Hancock. That game will start at 5:30 p.m. Then the 29th, we're at Frankton. Then May 3rd through the 7th, we have the Delaware County Tournament at Westdale. Then the 9th, May 9th, we're home versus LaPel. That game will start at 5:30 p.m. The 11th, we're at Blackford. Then we're at Yorktown on the 13th. May 16th, we're at Delta. The 17th, we're home versus Randolph Southern, 5 p.m. That's our second to last conference game. The 18th, we're at South Adams. That game will start at 5:30. Then our last conference game is home versus Monroe Central. Then our last game of the year is against Cambridge City for Senior Night 2022.
Okay, and so, when you look at that schedule, obviously, I kind of like it, to be honest with you. A lot of home games. Last year, obviously, a lot of road games, and so, you kind of, it's nice to be able to switch back over a little bit, year after year. So really looking forward there to seeing, how Wapahani performs this year. When you look at last year's team, there in 2021. Again, it was really a season that was filled with ups and downs. You had a brand new head coach there in Jeff Masters, and I thought he did a really nice job. Had a good coaching staff here, trying to kind of set the tone early, and had some success. Like I said, we end up having a overall record of 14-12 on the year, so you finish above 500. We was 6-2 in the MEC conference, in which you still have some pretty good teams in the conference. Eastern Hancock, one of those that is really good here in the MEC. But you look at last year's team, then compared to this year's team, we only lost one senior last year. Now, albeit a big time. Well-rounded player here for Wapahani, and that was Mallory Summers. Like I said, a young lady that is just a well-rounded, dynamic player, a leader on the field, and no doubt, it's going to be some huge shoes to fill. But just like I said with the baseball team, and for any team for that matter, it's got to be the next person up mentality here. You've got to find ways to step up and to fulfill roles when those roles are asked of you, and really, aside from Mallory, now graduating, we still have a really nice nucleus here for Wapahani, a nice nucleus that are. You have some seniors, but also a nice heavy dose of some juniors and sophomores here that's going to bring a lot of success and a lot of experience as well. And hopefully that experience will be able to help these girls throughout the course of the grind of the season here, and trying to battle through ball games where maybe last year we lost, maybe this year we're going to be able to win some of those games. And so, it's going to be interesting now to see, how that nucleus of this team, combined with maybe a couple newcomers here, kind of spark things here for the Raiders and get out of the gate, really clicking on all cylinders and being able to ride that wave throughout the course of the season here. But some returning players to really look at here for this Wapahani Lady Raider softball team. You have senior catcher Ashlyn Kahali-Como, 362 hitter, 3 homers, 17 RBIs, also 12 doubles. 1 triple, also 19 runs scored. Quite the defensive catcher as well. Definitely can nab some runners here and there, and just really does a fantastic job there behind the plate. There does Ashlyn. So next we have senior pitcher Katie Bray. 263 batter last season, 7 doubles, 2 triples, also 21 RBIs. And 21 runs scored. From the mound, a little shaky there. Wasn't as good as what she was hoping for, but still had a pretty decent year here for herself. 12-12 record. She had a 4.23 ERA, 59 walks, 132 strikeouts there in 160 2/3 innings pitched. Next here we have sophomore Abby Cross. Primarily plays outfield as Abby. She's a 343 hitter last year with 3 homers, also 14 RBIs, 7 doubles, 2 triples, and 25 runs scored. Next, we have sophomore first baseman Kaya Van Note. Now, Kaya was hurt last year. She ended up having a knee injury, so she ended up only playing 13 games. But in those 13 games, she was a 105 hitter with a double, also 2 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. So she's looking to have a healthy bounce-back year this year in her sophomore campaign. Next, we have senior shortstop Layla Lee. Layla had a 316 average, 1 homer, also 23 RBIs. 4 doubles, also 2 triples, 23 runs scored. A very, very good defensive shortstop. There is Layla Lee. Next here, senior outfielder Gracie Stanley. You've seen some outfield from her. I think also played some third base. So she can kind of bounce around the field there a little bit, does Gracie. Had a 189 average, also 3 doubles, 7 RBIs, 20 runs scored was Gracie Stanley. Next, a sophomore here, Bailey Richardson. What a freshman year she had. A 356 hitter, 1 homer, 21 RBIs, also 6 doubles, 2 triples, and 22 runs scored. Next year, sophomore outfielder Zoe Swallow. She was a 385 batter last year in her freshman year, also with a pair of doubles, 4 RBIs, and 14 runs scored. And then next up here, we have sophomore second baseman Maddie Rhodes. And she had a dandy of a freshman year here for herself. Led the team in batting average, a 418 hitter, 2 homers, 29 RBIs, also 5 doubles, 3 triples, and 28 runs scored there by Matty Rhodes. Again, some other notable players to watch for here for the Lady Raiders softball team. Cadence Brewer coming out for the softball team this year. Also Marissa Bray and Clarissa Huddleston. All three of those young ladies combined with the other names that I mentioned there, really looking to make an impact this season, hopefully have a bounce back year. Like I said, you still finished above 500.
Yep.
You're obviously aiming to do as great as you possibly can. Were we as good as what we have been in years past? Well, maybe not necessarily. You're going to have some years like that where you might not play as good, but we played good in spurts. There was a little stretch where we'd be clicking on all cylinders, playing some really good softball. Then we'd have a stretch where we was at the bottom of the barrel here, so to speak, where things weren't going good, and that's where you've got to dig deep within inside yourself here and find ways to win. Find ways to get yourself out of that rut and climb back aboard the train and get on down the track here and start playing some good softball again. And we're hoping that that's the team that we have this year again, coming out here, putting their best foot forward, playing some great softball. And again, like I said, it's all going to start next Monday at Northeastern. That will be a 5 p.m. start time. Again, the first home game of the season will be next Wednesday, April the 6th, taking on Mississinawa at 5 p.m. So, again, we just want to spend some time here with you, give you guys more of an outlook on this team, not only for the baseball team but the softball team, what they kind of look like here throughout this, as far as to start this 2022 year. And kind of look back what they did last year compared to what they potentially could look like this year. But we're looking forward to what will hopefully be a very promising season for both of these teams. Like I said, you have head coach Brian Dudley there with the baseball team, head coach Jeff Masters there with the softball team. Two fantastic coaches trying to lead their programs to another great year. And we hope you all come aboard the ride here with us throughout the course of the season. Again, you can catch all the action right here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network here on YouTube.com. Make sure to subscribe for free. There's no cost whatsoever to watch. Then also you want to click the little bell icon right next to it, right next to the subscribe button. All that will do is just send you alerts and notifications upon every broadcast that we have here on YouTube. So we're looking forward to it, and we hope all of you are as well. Also, make sure to subscribe or to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, like I mentioned earlier. It's at WHS Network there on our social media sites. So, folks, again, this is our 2022 Wapahani Raider baseball and softball season preview show here tonight. Hope you all enjoyed it. And again, we'll see you out here at the baseball and softball field throughout the season. We're looking forward to having you all join us. And like I said, we'll see you next time right here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.